Let me be your Peter.
Hi, I'm Peter. This is Emily. She's in China, and she's also writing about China. Last week, you were contacted by the New York Post to write an article. You didn't decide to write. They contact you because you're professional. So the New York Post contacted you to find out about what's going on during a COVID situation, your personal COVID situation, not as the person who knows everything that's going on in China. And you gave them the information of what your life is like, and we gave them a couple of pictures of you basically in your apartment and on our little area that we're in. We don't have like a huge amount of information. They left the bulk of what your story is, cut it down for space, but they're going to put in a headline, "I haven't been out of my home since Thanksgiving." Already putting an alarming, and then the photos that they also put with it are protesters. They didn't like change your words or anything.
I mean, because that was a true statement they put in the headline.
Mm-hmm. That's what you said.
It didn't necessarily. I mean, that's the trouble. Is like for me, my story isn't that, but for them, the news story is that.
Right.
And again, like they wanted my context of what my experience was like, but also the larger context of the protests, even though they didn't happen to me.
So they put in pictures of the protesters and presidents and leaders and cops, and so that gets all very exciting for the people back home.
It looked like a very explosive story, and the larger story is explosive. Mm-hmm. What happened to me was not explosive, but that's not news. If it doesn't explode, it's not news. It's a well-known
the old
saying.
So the people reading in the Post and commenting on that story are looking at that, and well, there's some people that said nice things, but like most of the people are going to be like, well, it serves her right for living in China. Why is she still living in China? She should have left China a long time ago. Why do I want to hear somebody complaining about China? In the beginning of it, it says that like we've been here for 12 years, that you haven't left since COVID started in 2020, and then there's comments that are just like, Oh, you said every two months out of the year?
10 months out of the year, we have a great life here. The 2 months, I don't know.
And then the comments are just like, I wonder what she does during those other 2 months. Like,
I don't actually read the comments because I'm a delicate flower and I wouldn't manage to survive if I had to respond to how people responded to my work. So Peter lovingly reads them and then tells them to me, which defeats the purpose.
Well,
but that one was funny in that they made a whole conspiracy theory out of a joke. I was trying to say 80% of the year my life is pretty good here, and so they latched onto that. I don't know.
And this is the problem.
20%.
Yeah, this is the problem.
What is she doing with that other 20%?
With either way that we're going, you're going to end up with people. First of all, no one has a sense of humor. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
And you're between two cultures. You're trying to deal with like being lighthearted in the situation. Nothing really bad happened to us. Like it's hard to not actually have like the food, or you're having to chase food down like through deliveries, like and being sent to the door.
It was stressful and it was hard to do, but it was not like a catastrophe happened personally to us.
Right. So the information in this story that somebody contacted for you to write is this basic information. And then when you try to be lighthearted of like, it's not that bad, you have people putting pictures of, you've got pictures of people putting riots and other people not taking into account that you're being humorous about it.
Right. Well,
and trying to be lax.
There is something about I don't know if it's small C conservative or big C conservative worldview of like when bad things happen to other people, you need to find a reason for those bad things to be happening to them. So like, I didn't think I was complaining. I thought I was just like saying what it's like because I did choose to be here and I'm choosing to continue to be here.
Right.
For however long that works for me because it's working for me.
Right.
And sometimes our shower is a nightmare because the hot water doesn't run like I'd like it, but that doesn't mean like I'm gonna break the shower and move onto the street.
When you lived in America, was all 12 months of the year were like beautiful and wonderful for you? Like there's not a place on the planet where like
things go wrong, and if you respond to that with fear, You need to like look at this is what I think. That's why these comments don't bother me, because I think you're looking at a place from fear and being like, that can't happen to me because I would never choose to do something so dumb. Like, I don't know, life kind of sucks.
Yeah, I would never be so dumb to live in a certain place. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's.
Because that's when we moved here was around the time when people are going like, you don't like George Bush, you can always leave the country. Those same people. So we did what you asked.
Yeah, where am I supposed to go? I'm just trying to get around in the world.
Yeah.
There's like, why would you live anywhere? It's like the whole world sucks, especially right now more than ever. So like, why would
My home has to exist on this physical plane. I have not figured out another way.
And we have this as a place to talk about where we live and why we live here, but you don't need to like read that in the paper, and you don't actually have to read that paper. You could turn the page. Why are you reading in the New York Post and going like, I don't want to hear about this person having problems, it's their own fault. Like,
Or I think they do want to hear about this
That's
person
the thing.
having problems and say that it's their own fault.
yeah,
Which is like,
mind your own business.
that's a self-selected, like comment groups on the internet are, you know, that's who comments. Shitty people.
Right.
Except for you, my audience,
Please subscribe.
and comment.
Now, so when you have that side,
Yeah.
on our comments page, because we did a follow-up video, I'll give you the little
Yeah.
here. Our commenters here on our channel, who are, well, a lot of them are Chinese, leave something in the comment section that is closer to, wow, that's great that you're talking to Western media. People need to know that, like, you know, it's not a country full of monsters or something like that.
And it's not a country full of monsters.
Right, that would be ridiculous. There are a certain amount of, from this side, that within this country that are like, that's great, but why bother? The Western media is never going to listen. You're not going to change anybody's mind. So on one side, you've got people going like, what are you doing there? You're an idiot. And another side, you've got going like, thanks, but like it's not going to work. What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to like not try to be a better person?
Shut up.
Just shut up. I should just shut up right now.
Just shut up.
Why is it bad to like try to bring people together? Like,
I mean, we maybe simplified it in the last video that the goal, my goal is not actually to change Western media or change any damn thing. My goal is to tell my story. And I think it's a completely self-serving goal, but if you know any writers, that's what motivates us. It's not what joy can I bring to you, but I need to get this out for me.
right. So for the people that like our Chinese viewers that are saying thank you, like it's like, you know, that's great if it helps you and the country and the human race that way, like that, but that's not really, again, you were contacted by somebody else, and like it's irritating when
it's a paying writing job.
Yeah.
is what
So
it comes
it's not
down
like you're
to.
not benefiting from it in some kind of way.
It's not altruism.
Yeah. And so when that other side is like, hey, what's the story? You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then this side is like, hey, we agree with you.
But why bother?
But why bother? It does make you, and all that really does is it makes you feel like, well, then why bother? Like why do anything at all? And that's not an answer, not for me.
I have a philosophical reason, but then also like the real reason why I do anything is self-interest. Like I only do things I want to do, mostly.
Mostly.
So that's why. That's why bother, because I want to. Leave me alone.
Fair enough. Why do you live in China?
Because I want to.
Right.
Leave me alone.
Okay.
That's enough.
Okay.
But the other side of it is, I think, especially in the current, we're going to talk about the current media landscape now. The internet, while it could have been a tool for increasing the diversity of stories that get attention and get told and get published and empowering diverse groups of writers, and I think it has done that, but despite itself, because we've seemed to have become more of a monoculture than ever, and that there's one story about China, it's bad, and that's where my iPhone comes from. And there's one story about America, it's also bad, and the president is old. Like, it's really frustrating both as a writer and a consumer of media, and an enjoyer of media. I'm not just a consumer. That there's only one story, and if you diverge from the one story, there's something wrong with you. Like, because I think there are multiple stories in the world, and there are multiple stories about China, and I just have one. Like, I'm also not asking you to read my story and say, she's the only one who tells the truth.
Yeah.
Because that's, if anybody ever tells you, I'm the only one that has the answer, they're likely either selling you something or a fascist or both. Mm-hmm. And I truly believe we all have a story, and it's important for all of us to engage with many stories to find the truth of life.
Yeah. Well, if somebody's
Philosophy soapbox.
if somebody's going to tell you that, like, I'm going to tell you what they're not telling you. Like,
oh my God! That's turn it off. Run away.
Well, what are you not telling me? Like, everyone's not telling. Like, there's all kinds of information that's either boring or gross or just lies that, like, who needs it? Like, when your story is like, hey, I got a decent amount of cabbage while I'm under lockdown. Like, is that you're a piece of shit that is looking to corrupt
do you
your
need
country?
to know all the cabbage farts that resulted afterwards?
Yeah, right. So
you know.
Yeah, you know, and none of those farts are actually trying to destroy your own home country. Like,
yeah, we're all farting,
and it's not trying.
It's not motivated.
There's plenty of farts in China. Like, there's enough farts to go around.
It's not all malicious farts.
Some are good farts. It's good for your stomach. It's good for.
You can't keep that inside.
Yeah,
It's bad for you.
and that's really what it comes down to.
And that's why I write, because you can't keep those farts inside.
Yeah, when somebody's asking, like, why do you bother doing it?
Yeah.
It's for the farts, and it's for the good farts.
Yeah.
And for more good farts, make sure you subscribe and hit those like buttons and tell your friends. Comments, tell us about your farts out there, because we need to know. Don't lie about your farts anymore. Bring the truth to our comments.
Tell us what they won't tell us.
Hey, foreigner with your Peter.